day. Now I been smoking, you been smoking, we been smoking all day. I be smoking, you been smoking, we been smoking all day. You be smoking, she be smoking, he be smoking all day. Right. Blowing kush, it ain't face from overseas to the USA. Right. I got that blueberry, raspberry, and we keep that juicy fruit.
So,
if you want that 5-hour level, yeah, we got
coming at you in 3, 2, 1, action. Oh. Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Snerbidge, the PoTcast. I'm your host, Tony Tone. I'm going to turn my headphones up. Turn my headphones up. Turn them up. I can't hear. I got shot in this ear, man. Turn them up. Episode 13, Snerbidge, the PoTcast. I'm Tony Tone, and today we're smoking on some Snerbidge called the Van Kushlen, and I thought it was like a reference to Van Halen, and I was right. Fucking Van Kushlen. I fucking love Van Halen, dude. Like, more so, I love Eddie's guitar work than anything else. I mean, the band itself was good in all 3, 4, 5, 6 of its incarnations. I don't know. There's something about fucking Eddie Van Halen's playing that it soothed me. Same with Wes Borland from Limp Bizkit. You know, Limp Bizkit's such a toss-away band for a lot of people, but guitar players that really were listening, like, God, Wes Borland was doing some cool fucking shit behind there, man. God, he was doing some cool shit. So yeah, this is the Van Kushlen. Welcome to Snerbidge, the PoTcast. If you've never heard of Snerbidge, the PoTcast, welcome. God damn it, welcome. We smoke weed, talk about stuff. That's pretty much it. And I'm going to start having guests. I got a couple people that want to come in the studio and be guests and such. Got a couple people that don't really smoke that much weed all the time, and so it's like they heard about my podcast and they were like, hey, you know, and I was like, hey, you know, that'd be a great show. Let's have some people come on and just get fucked up, you know, because I'm used to it. I'm used to smoking weed. I smoke weed every day, and some people don't, though, and they get fucked up. So speaking of fucked up, so I bartend, right? And I bartended a bowling alley. So there's this guy that comes in all the time, and I never really have ever talked to him. But he came into the bar one night. We were just chit-chatting and shit. And you know, he asked me why I don't bowl. And I was like, oh, I fucked up my leg a long time ago. And it's just, I don't know. I always fucking pull the son of a bitch to the left. And so it's just easier for me not to bowl. Oof. And he says to me, he goes, yeah, I broke my pelvis and stuff a couple years ago, and ever since then I've needed to like rework on my approach and how I bowl and stuff. And I'm just like, this guy's like my size, man. He's a big dude, you know, tall and broad and shit. I'm like, Jesus, man, you broke your fucking pelvis. How big was she? Good God, man, broke your pelvis? Like. I've been banged it out by a couple of big girls, and they never even came close to breaking my pelvis. And I'm a big guy, and I've banged it out with a bunch of fucking petite women, and I've never broken any of their pelvises. They might have had to go on pelvic rest for a little while. I'm just, fuck, man. I was just like, what? I guess it was a motorcycle accident, but I was like, I think it's cooler to say that some chick fucked your pelvis, like, to the breaking point. I'm sorry. You know, my dad always says, you know, he always kind of gives me shit because, like, my mind always goes to sex. For real, dude. You know, they say that, like, men, like, you know, think about sex every fucking 8 seconds. I think I might have said this on a different podcast, but I'm patient fucking zero for that crap, dude. My brain will always go there. My dad one time was sitting there and he was posting on Facebook. He's posting about snow. snow coming to his area and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, we got 5 inches last night. Looks like we're due for another like 9 inches tonight or something like that." And I get on there, I'm like, "Dude, you really need to like say of snow, 5 inches of snow, because it sounds like you're going to be taking 9 inches tonight, Dad." And he was like, "Tone, we don't all go there." And I'm like, "Well, I fucking do. So better get used to it, bud. I'm in my 30s. You should have been used to that shit by now." I'm a horny fucking 30-year-old, man. 36-year-old. For real, man. Any woman would be lucky to have this kind of a sexual appetite on their hands, dude. I see so many fucking relationships and couples where, the dude doesn't give them shit, doesn't fucking, just, after a long while, it just starts getting stagnant and stale, and dudes, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, Jesus, man, I'm fucking down anytime, dude. Anytime. Let's do it. The world is lucky that I am not single right now. That's all I have to say. Because first of all, I'm sorry, ladies. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to let you know, every guy that you get with, from here to eternity, they're all going to be second best, because I'm the fucking best, man. Sorry. The Van Kushlen's already hitting me. This is like an immediate state of euphoria. It's amazing. I love it. Woke and boke. But no, dude, like for real. I don't know if I've said this on a previous podcast or not, but like today, these days, I would be in hog fucking heaven. Because when I was in high school coming up, before I had a wife and kids and everything like that, a woman's like shape, the definition of a beautiful woman's shape back when I was coming up was skinny, big tits. It was always, skinny chick, big tits. And nowadays it's like, it's all skewed. My buddy has a theory that it's because there's so many $5 footlongs and $5 like Little Caesars pizzas around that America on the whole is getting bigger, and women are thicker, and it's a thing because there's more of them than there are the other kind. I don't know, than there are of like petite girls and stuff like that. But it's like the world is gradually kind of getting to the place where it's like thick is in right now, and being petite, you're just a skinny little bitch. And check out some of my earlier podcasts. I think it might have been the first or second one where I talked about, it might have been the third one. I don't remember. But where I talked about like body shaming, and it's not just fat shaming. There is skinny shaming too. But like for real, dude, if I was single right now, like with the way that like, thin girls are single and thick girls are getting all the dudes, like, well, that's half of heaven for me right there. And then when I was coming up, it was like Asian girls. I loved Asian girls. And Asian girls are kind of getting a bunch of heat. Asian people in general are getting a bunch of heat right now because of COVID and that stupid orange prick saying that it's the China virus and shit. So it's like, everything that I liked back in the day is now like not in, and like it would probably be a lot more attainable for me these days. And it's like, well, I got a hot petite chick, and her cheekbones are kind of high, so she almost looks like she's kind of Asian. I've told her that. I'm sorry, I'm a pig. Van Kushlen time. I am. I'm kind of a pig, but at the same time, I really love women, and I really respect the hell out of women, all shapes and sizes. And I just, we all have our preferences. I've said that before, but women in general, I would much rather hang out, with a whole bunch of women than a whole bunch of dudes. I think women are just, they're beautiful, and they're fucking puzzles. Guys are just so, I don't know, man. I've never been one to hang out with a bunch of dudes. I don't have a crew of dudes that I go out with or anything like that, man. I have, most of my friends in this life have been women. So I love women. God, they're so unique and fucking extraordinary. And I love them to death. And I could not imagine being the kind of guy, whether it's in a relationship or in like a professional industry where you treat women like shit. Like there's a guy that works with us. He's a kid. He works with me at where I work. And, you know, he's like fucking 15 or 16 and shit. And God, you know, you can really tell that dude's going to have a real hard time with the word no, you know, later on in life. And I try to tell him that, dude, like, you need to calm down. And like, you know, because there's a couple of good looking girls that work there or have worked there, you know, and stuff. And there's, you know, there's girls that come through there that are his age and shit. And there's girls that work there that are his age that are attractive to him and shit. And it's like, God, his game is just so awful. And he's such a, he throws so many temper tantrums about like women and just how they, you know, they're bitches and just all this shit, dude. And yeah, he calls girls bitches to their faces and stuff when, you know, when they have a disagreement and shit. And it's just like, wow, dude, like that, you could very well possibly be very dangerous later on in life. And I just couldn't imagine that, dude. Never hit a woman. I have never hit, well, I have hit a woman, but it was in the heat of passion where it's like, you know, slap my, you know, fill in the blank. Or the wife and I used to do a really hardcore game of like slug bug because we would make it up for all sorts of different things. Slug bug, cruiser bruisers, fucking Cadillac wax, fucking Cooper. Mini Coopers were kind of a wild card. It was like Cooper blooper or Cooper scooper. Like it was just like stupid shit, man. But the best one, like if you found, and it was weird because, okay, so if you see a bug, then it's a slug bug. If you see a bug with that's like a convertible, but the convertible thing's up, that's 2 hits. If you see a convertible bug with the convertible top down, man, that's fucking 3 hits. And we would like fucking lay each other out with these things in the car, man. And but the best one, like the one that you really wanted to get was if you saw like a Geo or Chevy Tracker. It was a fucking tracker smacker, and then you just open palmed each other, dude, like fucking across the face, like and it's stupid, like, you know, while we were driving and shit. We don't do it anymore, but yeah, we used to fucking beat the hell out of each other in the car. It was fun. But yeah, dude, I've never hit a woman. The closest I ever came to laying my hands on a woman out of anger was mostly frustration. But I had an ex who she started throwing things at me once. She threw a season of Friends at me. And like we're talking like a 2003 season, DVD season of something. You know, those things were huge box sets, you know. Fucking threw that thing at me and threw a couple other things at me. And I just grabbed her by the shoulders and I was like, knock it off. And that was it. Like, that was the only time I ever laid my hands on a woman, like, out of frustration or anger. And it even felt weird doing that. I might have said that on an earlier podcast. I don't fucking know. But this kid's going to have a fucking rough time coming up, man. And I just hope that somebody, whether it be my, you know, my off teachings, you know, whatever I try to instill in him when I can, or somebody fucking locks onto this kid and is like, okay, we need to teach you the right way here because this isn't it, and it's gonna be really shitty and stuff. Speaking of fucking weirdos, like, excuse me, out of left field, this Machine Gun Kelly and fucking Megan Fox thing. I always kind of like had. Not like, I mean, who doesn't think Megan Fox is a fox? But I always had a kind of a quiet respect for her because of the whole Transformers thing where she, you know, basically she either quit or got fired because she was sick and tired of just being eye candy. And then, you know, she was married to Brian Austin Green or whatever the fuck, one of the 90210 dudes. She was married to one of the 90210 dudes for years. And it was just kind of like a, wow, you know, like here's a nice, you know, got a family and stuff like that. And, you know, she just, you know, she's attractive, but she knows that she's attractive, but she knows that that's not all she wants to be is attractive. And it was kind of one of those people. It was just kind of like, all right, you know, you hadn't heard from her in a while. So it was like, oh, she's out there just living life and you know, with her husband and stuff, and that's awesome and shit. But now all of a sudden, like, they broke up, and now she's with Machine Gun Kelly, and now it's all this, like, it's almost it goes back to like Billy Bob Thornton, Angelina Jolie days, man, where it was like some weird ass shit going on here, dude. And like, people getting attention for the wrong fucking reasons, man. Because it's just like, now all of a sudden it's just, she's just over saturated and over sexualized again, and it seems like a complete flip flop from, you know, what the fuck. Ugh. It's just one of those cases where it's like, well, that's sad. You know, like Pete Davidson, that's sad. Like, I thought he was a really, you know, good comedian, and he probably still is a great comedian and everything like that. I thought that he was a little bit more, I thought there was a little bit more to him than dating a Kardashian. Like, you know, to me, first of all, not my type at all. Way too, you know, have to put on makeup every fucking minute of every day. You know, way too, what's the fucking phrase I'm looking for? Self-involved. I don't know. Just high maintenance. That's what it was. High maintenance. Yeah. High maintenance, you know, has to make a fashion statement, you know, all this stuff. And just like, drama is her life. That's, you know, that's how she's made a living, is drama. And it's just, I just thought there was more to Pete Davidson than that, you know? And so whatever happens with all that shit, I mean, the guy, I just don't think it was the right time for him to start flexing that particular muscle in the ways of like dating all these chicks. Like, I think he should have really established himself as just like a fucking true artist, comedian and stuff like that. You know, he's just getting his feet wet, man. And now all of a sudden this is big thing, and he's like Leonardo DiCaprio when Titanic came out, you know, but like to the nth to fucking degree. People just, people disappointing me. Like Logan Paul or whatever the fuck. Yeah, Paul, whatever. Yeah, Jake Paul's the little one. Logan, like, some years ago, there was a video of, like, there was this, like, viral video that went around of this guy, and he would just, like, be standing in a crowd, and all of a sudden just, like, do the splits. Like, just from a standing position, just all of a sudden just right down into the fucking splits. And it was funny. I thought it was, like, those are the funniest fucking videos ever, dude. And then all of a sudden it turns out that this is Logan Paul, and he's, like, just, him and his brother are just kind of giant fucking douchebags and shit. But you know, people just getting famous and douchey people getting famous. And there's the whole Lana Rhoades thing now. Like, I saw something on the news, and I didn't even know that this chick was, you know, fucked around. But goes back to 2 episodes ago when I was talking about sex and stuff like that. Like how it's going to start coming into the mainstream. Logan Paul and Jake Paul are mainstream fucking people right now. There are a couple of the fucking most talked about famous fucking, you know, celebrities, quote unquote, that there is out there, man. Every fucking move they make is scrutinized and everything. And so these people have influence, you know, and all of a sudden, like, there's all these rumors that one of them banged it out with Lana Rhoades, the porn star, who is, God, dude, like, strikingly, like, I say what you want about her, anything else, body, job, personality, I don't know her, whatever, but I looked a picture of her up, man, like, fucking striking eyes, dude, strikingly blue eyes, and it's almost like Masters of the Universe, Evelyn, whoever that fucking actress was, I can't remember her fucking name. But yeah, she had those striking eyes, and it was just like, wow, dude, like, they pierce your fucking soul like a husky's eyes. But yeah, it's just another way that, you know, porn's starting to come mainstream, dude. And I think we're entering a sex worker renaissance. Van Kushlen. A sex worker renaissance, where it's going to start being more and more mainstream, man, because people are celebrating their bodies and their sexuality in ways that the world has never seen. And it's all blowing up, dude. It's all blowing up. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Not saying it's a great thing, but I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I had a couple of fucking tweets that, like, a couple of like tweet back and forth that were kind of fun. Fallon Bowman from Kitty, the original guitar player from Kitty, and me had a Twitter conversation. Because I've always liked her fucking guitar playing. You know, same with what I was talking about with Eddie and fucking West Borland and shit. I always loved the tone that she got on her guitar, man. Same with Drain STH. Flavia from Drain STH. There's a Swedish fucking metal band from the 90s, dude. Check them out. They're amazing. And the lead singer actually ended up going on to marry Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath, one of my other favorite guitar players of all time. So, yeah. But no, me and Fallon Bowman I just asked a question on Twitter, and actually it started because there was that supposedly fake news story about the original bass player from Coal Chamber. Fuck, I can't remember her name now. Missing. But then a couple days later, like, her daughter came out and she was like, my mom's not missing. You know, she's just, you know, she's here. I don't know where these rumors are coming from. Please stop. You know, my mom is just fine. But I threw something out there on Twitter about all that. And then Fallon Bowman from fucking Kitty, like, liked it. And I was like, holy shit. And so I actually, like, asked her, I was like, dude, do you have anything that you do that's like, you know, I would love to hear you on like a Gilmore-esque, like Pink Floyd-ish kind of a track, you know, like, do you have anything like that you've diddled around on and shit? You know, you could just fucking toss my way and just let me hear, I want to hear your tone with that kind of music. And she was like, I really don't. And I was like, well, fuck, man, you should fucking check it out and try. And she was all fucking, you know, liking everything and saying, yeah, I fucking should and everything on Twitter. It was awesome. Fallon Bowman from Kitty. Had a dialogue with Fallon Bowman. Even cooler than that. I'm sorry, Fallon, but even cooler than that. I put out something to Kelly Carlin, and you might not know who Kelly Carlin is, but she is actually the late great comedian George Carlin's daughter, and she has a pretty good Twitter presence, and she's pretty funny on Twitter. And I've fucking tweeted her before, and she's never gotten back to me or anything. But this last week, I actually let my 10-year-old daughters listen to George Carlin's Class Clown album. So I tweeted something like, today I taught my 10-year-old girls about the old bilabial fricative, as well as the 7 dirty words. See, George Carlin is famous. If you don't know who George Carlin is, he was famous for the 7 dirty words that you cannot say on radio or television. Let me see if I can remember them. Shit, fuck, cunt, piss, fuck, sorry. Shit, piss, fuck, cock, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker. Something like that. But he said, you know, 7 dirty words you can't say on radio or television. And I told my girls, these are the 7 dirty words that you cannot say at school or your grandma's house. I would much rather you don't say these words at all until you're a little older. But, you know, I'm not one of those parents who's going to be a fucking dick if they're just like sitting there playing a game like, ah, shit. You know, like, I don't care. If they're like looking at their sister and saying, no, you fuck you, man, then that's when I have a problem, you know. But, you know, passing profanity is fine by me and my wife. Passing profanity, as long as, you know, it's not getting over the top and they're not hurting anybody with it, you know, we're okay with it. But I tweeted that to Kelly Carlin, and she was like, oh, what did she say? She said, love it, with an exclamation point. Fucking, you know, the offspring of George Carlin liked my fucking tweet, dude, and said, love it. You know, it's awesome. It's awesome. So yeah, those are my Twitter things. I want to do a little something different right now. I want to do this thing called Spotlight on an Artist. You know, I don't know how many other people, 3:00 in the morning, I got to get up and go to the bathroom, and you might be sitting on the toilet for a little while and just like half consciously scrolling around on your phone. So I was doing that one night, few fucking nights ago. And one of those memes came up from the Lost Boys movie, and in the Lost Boys movie, there's this like beach party, and there's this band playing, and there's the lead singer is this totally jacked up, greasy, fucking shirtless guy with a big long ponytail and a fucking saxophone and like pink fucking pants on and shit and a cod piece and all sorts of shit. And he's just like fucking grooving his hips, having a great time. There's all these memes online that are just like, nobody ever, hey, you know what this movie needs, or something like that. But it's like, I was like, who is this guy? So I went looking, and I found who this guy was, and his name is Timmy Capello. Go on YouTube. There's like videos of him from like just very recently, a couple years ago, of him like doing like a show at, a bar or a fucking hotel or something. And he's, he's an older guy now, but he's still up there fucking pelvic thrusting along with his sax playing and shit. I still believe. And I just like this guy, and then I looked deeper into it. And this guy okay, he was Tina Turner's sax player for a while. He played on fucking Peter Gabriel's, what was it? Was it Car or Melt or something? One of the first few Peter Gabriel albums he played fucking saxophone for. God, who else? He played with fucking Ringo. Like, there's like a whole bunch of people that he's played with and stuff, and he was an actor for a little while, and it's just like, I just want to put a spotlight on Timmy Capello. Hey man, way to own that shit. Like, I guess he got into drugs really bad, and then he got out of drugs, and that's when he started working out and shit, and that's how he kind of developed his shtick. And it's awesome, dude. Like, here's a guy who, he had an art. It was a weird art, but he had it, and it got him in fucking movies, and it got him, playing, dude, anybody that's played with Peter Gabriel in my eyes is a fucking awesome human being. It's Peter fucking Gabriel, man. Like, I love Genesis and everything. I'm not a huge Phil Collins as a front man kind of guy. Stay your fucking ass back behind those drums, bro. You can even sing back there. But Phil Collins as a front man just makes me sick. But Peter Gabriel, man, if there's like one artist that influenced me the most when I was a kid, outside of guitar players or like a band atmosphere, it was Peter Gabriel. Like Peter Gabriel, my mom fucking loved Peter Gabriel, dude. And so I listened to all of it, and I was like, that was it. Like that, like Alan Parsons Project, but Peter fucking Gabriel, dude. So yeah, Timmy Capello, man. Like he was born in the right time, and he came in in the right time, and as far as I can tell, he's been having a ball, showcasing, and he's a great fucking saxophone player, dude. Great fucking saxophone player. But yeah, Timmy Capello, man. Spotlight on artist. The 80s in general, it was great decade, but fucking weird one to look back on, dude. Like, you look at that scene from Lost Boys, just type in Lost Boys sax man, and you'll fucking say, I still believe, fucking doodly-doo, with his goddamn fucking saxophone and shit. It's great. I love it. I love Timmy Capello. If he smoked weed, I don't care. You don't have to smoke weed. Just come on my show, Timmy Capello. You want to come on my show? I'll smoke weed and I'll talk to you about shit. Snerbidge the PoTcast. I'm going to smoke some Van Kushlen. So, I heard a phrase the other day, and I was like, I already have a name for my dick, and it's Special Victims Unit. I talk about that earlier on in the podcast. Yeah, my dick's name is Special Victims Unit, SVU. But I heard something the other day, and I was like, God, if I didn't have a name for my dick, that'd be it. But it was the box cutter. What? Somebody said that, and I was just like, box cutter. Wait a second. Jesus Christ. But then it even went further, and I was like, some dude should name their dick like the Swiss Army knife. And then it's like tonight you get the corkscrew. Tomorrow night you're getting the screwdriver. The next night, my nuts are drained, man. You're getting the toothpick. The next night, you're getting the can opener. Good God. That would be amazing. Speaking of amazing, my fucking kid said something the other day. Like, he was so quick with it, dude. And I just know that it's like, I've influenced him right. You know, like I'm doing right, man, because I was sitting there and we got sick. We were sick all last week, and we thought it was COVID, got the PCR test done and shit and everything, but none of us had COVID, but we were all sick as shit at varying times. So they all have like these gnarly coughs that they're still getting over. They're 100% okay, but they have these gnarly fucking dry coughs that they're still trying to get over. Okay, so we're driving home. I picked up my boys the other day from school, and I was like, how's school today, boys? And one of my kids was like, it kind of sucked. I was coughing all day, and I was just fucking around with them, and I was like, you kids and your coughing. And my eldest looks at me, like, doesn't fucking skip a beat, dude. And he goes, yeah, because, you know, when Papa was young, you know, they didn't have things like throats. It's just like, Jesus Christ. You little fucking dick. I love you. I love you so much, you little dick. And I do. I love him. You know, he's not even mine. And that kid is turning out to be quite the fucking human, man. And I love him to death. And I'm so happy that I took that chance all those years ago and said, no. Because there was a lot of people when I met my wife, there were even my mother. They were like, you really need to think about this. Like, you're getting with a girl who has a child. A 1-year-old child. And I'm like, I know. I dig her. You know, like I don't know what I can say. I dig this chick, and I gotta roll with this. I gotta roll with this. And I'm so glad that I rolled with it, man. So glad I rolled with it. Oh, this Van Kushlen. Woo. Tell you what, tastes almost like that is the closest thing to the best bag of weed that I've ever smoked. The best bag of, like, this is the taste. Because, I mean, it was 2004. I was at Bonnaroo, which is a music festival. And someday I need to talk about my experience at Bonnaroo and about how saddening it is what Bonnaroo has turned out to be. But I had this, it was hot as fuck. And, you know, I only had a little bit of gas in my car and stuff. So when you go to Bonnaroo, like, you're blocked in. Some people just get blocked in. You're not leaving. Your car's not going anywhere. And so here I am camping, and it's hot as fuck, and I can't catch a goddamn buzz to save my life. I bought 3 bags of fucking weed that weekend. And one of them was this white, like greenish, like it almost looked like a marijuana fucking bud that was left out during a freeze, and it got frosted over. Like, it was amazing. And I'll never forget that fucking taste, dude. But that was the one that I kept in the car. And that was the one that, like, I would go in my car and I'd start my car and I would get the air conditioning pumping and I would just, like, relax in the cool, and I would fucking smoke on that shit, dude. Just like fucking one bowl. I was fucking good to go for a couple hours. But this stuff tastes very similar to that. Doesn't look like it, and I'm not getting as fucked up, but then again, that was 2004, man. So that was a long time ago in the history of my brain and my brain cells. It's good stuff, though. Van Kushlen. And I can't wait like a couple more months, and some of my friends who have been growing legally and all that stuff, they want to bring me some of their fucking, like, their stuff that they've grown, and I can't fucking wait, dude. I cannot fucking wait. I'll put that shit on the map for my fucking 3 listeners. So yeah, streaming reviews. A lot of people are talking about the Book of Boba Fett. All I'm going to say is I'm not going to say whether or not this series sucks or not until it's done. Like, I cannot say that this series sucks or not until it's done. All I can say is it's very slow. It's very sloppy. I think that they rushed it. And I'm sick and tired of seeing sand in every fucking episode. Like, Star Wars, when I came up with Star Wars, it was in a galaxy far, far away, not a fucking sand planet far, far away. You know, we were treated to ice planets and swamp planets and cloud cities and, you know, all this fucking, like, really fucking cool shit, man. Forest moons and everything. And even the Death Star itself had a planetary feel to it and everything. And it was just, you know, like, it's like, get the fuck off of Tatooine. You know, I'm supposed to crap myself with joy because fucking Boba Fett's going from one most to the other most. Like, give me a fucking break, dude. Like, they try to throw these little things in there to, like, you know, geek up the fans and stuff like that, but it's just not enough, man. And now they're talking about him changing the name of his fucking ship and stuff from the Slave One to something else because, oh, we shouldn't, it's Disney and we can't have a ship named Slave. You fucking kidding me, dude? Like, for real? It's a ship, okay? It's a ship. The word slave, you know, there's some women who are like, I'm a slave to chocolate. You know, like, you know, yes, slavery happened. Yes, it was terrible. Yes, white people did some despicable fucking things to African Americans, you know, and there's in slavery of any fucking, you know, people. Yeah, it's terrible. But the word slave does not necessarily just have to do with that, man. And it's Star Wars. You know, there's all sorts of crazy shit going on, man. We got chicks with the tentacles out of their heads being chained up and shit all over the fucking place. And everybody's like, oh, it's fine, you know. But yeah, Book of Boba Fett, and you know, make the Hutts fucking not CGI. You know, they have the twin Hutts and stuff like that. Like, Jabba the Hutt was fucking cool because it was this big fucking puppet, dude. And if you don't have it, you know that there's a fucking two nerds out there that have a fucking full scale fucking hut in their garage and all this shit that they could fucking bring out to wherever the fuck you're filming this crap, and you could have some real huts. Because the Star Wars fans are that fucking crazy, dude. Put it out there. Gamorrean guards need to be slimier. The Gamorrean guards look too fake. The Gamorrean guards were one of my favorite things from, like, Return of the Jedi. Because they were like these slimy, disgusting pig people, man. And now they're just like, I don't know, dude. They don't look right. You know, they look really fucking cool in Return of the Jedi. And now they just look fake. It just looks like a dude in a costume, you know? And droid lives matter. Like, there's an awful lot of droids just being offed in record numbers in the Book of Boba Fett. And it's just kind of like, droid lives matter too, man, you know? You know, everybody's all up in arms about this, that, and the other thing, but nobody's talking about how many fucking droids they're killing in this fucking show. We fell in love with droids, man. Droid lives matter. Movie reviews. I watched Don't Look Up. And that was an interesting movie. If you haven't seen it, it's about, like, some scientists that find a comet heading towards Earth. And it was extremely hard to watch because they kept trying to tell the planet this is happening, and the planet was just in their, you know, chai mocha latte morning show with Hoda and Regis and Kelly kind of shit. Like, everybody was just so, you know, dumb towards it. It was like another form of an idiocracy type of movie and stuff. It was good, but I don't know if I'd watch it again just because it was just like, it's so on point, and it's like, this is where we're heading, and I don't really want to see that, you know. But it was good. I highly suggest. I was into it, man, through the whole thing. So it was a good flick. This one's gonna take a minute. I'm gonna throw a little bit more weed on this because it's more Van Kushlen. because this one hit me. This one hit me. When I was a kid, there were 3 movie franchises that really shaped me as a kid. One was Back to the Future. And Jesus Christ. Just lost my train of thought. Hold on. One was Back to the Future. One was 89 Batman, like Michael Keaton Batman. And the other one was Ghostbusters. Indiana Jones and that shit, you know, they came later. And I've you know, deeply profound respect for Indiana Jones, Star Wars, you know, all that shit. The Godfather became a big part of my life in a certain way. But those 3, the Terminator franchise, but those 3 were the ones that, like, they never got touched, really, you know? Like, they did make sequels to the Michael Keaton Batman and stuff like that, but they didn't feel like the same movies, and I didn't consider them the same movies, you know? Like, it was you know, it was different, but Michael Keaton as Batman was my Batman, you know, and so when I saw Michael Keaton in the Flash trailer, when I just saw the silhouette of my Batman coming out and hearing his voice doing the, you know, the monologue over the trailer, like, I got a tear in my eye, you know? I fucking cried when Doc and Marty showed up to Jimmy Kimmel's show in 2015 in a DeLorean on stage. Like, all of a sudden he's just talking, then all of a sudden, like, the lights just go out and here comes the fucking DeLorean in there, and they both get out, and I'm tearing up right now just fucking thinking of it, because it's Doc and Marty, and, you know, God knows how long we're gonna have those two, and that trilogy has never been touched, and it's sacred, you know, it's sacred to me. But the other one was Ghostbusters. And, you know, Ghostbusters had the television shows and everything like that. And they even had the 2016 movie by Paul Feig, which was an interesting, cool little Ghostbusters movie, yes, but it wasn't a part of that franchise. And I knew that. And so I was able to disassociate that. But Ghostbusters Afterlife, fuck you, shut up. Ghostbusters Afterlife was made by fucking the director's son of the first 2 movies, who was in the second movie. God, I can't remember his fucking name now. But you know, it hit me in all the right places, man. It was a good little story. And some people are saying, oh, it was a little bit too dark and stuff like that, and everything. But, you know, I thought it was brilliantly done. And yeah, there was a couple of little plot holes in it and stuff like that. No movie's fucking perfect, you know? But God, I cried twice in that fucking movie. And I like, I'm not going to spoil anything, you know, any of the third act or anything like that. But, you know, everybody knows that, you know, that a couple of the Ghostbusters from the original movies make an appearance in it. Okay? Sorry. It happens. But when Dan Aykroyd, when the kid calls Dan Aykroyd at his shop, I started crying. Like, a couple of tears came down. Like, it was just, raise a cult. You know, like, these were my fucking heroes, man. And like, so much to the point where, like, I hate seeing posters or anything that just show the 3, that just show, you know, Egon, Ray, and Venkman, you know, because Winston was just as much a part of that group as those guys were. They were the founders, and he came in later, but it's 4 Ghostbusters, dude, you know. And when I saw him, you know, and she's like, I'm calling about Egon Spangler, and just the look on his face, man. It really touched me. And the third act just completely blew my fucking mind apart, dude. And some people, I'm sure, thought that it was corny or cheesy or something. You know, I don't care. I really don't care what they think. I think that it was a good something to, you know, put the lid on my Ghostbusters, man, you know? And Egon was always my favorite. Like Venkman and Ray were great, but like it was Egon and Winston. Egon because he was the brains, and Winston just because like when they're in the second one, when Vigo locks him in the room and he starts the room on fire and shit, and all of a sudden Winston busts in there and fucking saves, like, dude, I was a fucking kid seeing that, you know, and it's like Winston came in and saved the day. I trust this guy, you know? And it was just, so having the story arc of Egon Spangler was really great. And they did Harold Ramis right. And I'm shedding a tear right now. God damn it. Harold Ramis, comedic genius, man. Stripes, fucking Animal House. I'm pretty sure, yeah, Animal House. Like, God, dude, that dude wrote so much cool shit and was a part of so much cool shit. Even Year One, I thought, my wife and I, Year One was a really great movie if you get the unrated version. Like, the regular theatrical version sucks. Like, we did not care for that because we saw the unrated version first, and it's funnier, and it's crass, and it's amazing. But, yeah, so Ghostbusters Afterlife, dude, like, seriously, man, one of the greatest movie experiences I've had in a long time. Because everything is just so saturating these days when it comes to movies and shit. And there's got to be 6 trailers and 72 teaser trailers and 4 McDonald's commercials featuring stuff from the trailers, you know, and it's just like Ghostbusters. I just kind of disassociated myself with it. Like, I watched the first, like the teaser, and I watched like the first 2 trailers, and that was it. I didn't look at anything else. Anytime I would fucking just see anything about Ghostbusters, I would just spin past it, and I'm going to watch this in my time. And I'm going to do this for myself, you know? And I did. And I didn't, you know, and it was, because I knew that it was, that, like, this is going to be something, but like going into it, I was really scared because I didn't want it to be terrible. And so much shit these days just doesn't live up to my expectations. And so I didn't want to get any expectations. I didn't have any hopes. I went into it, and that's why I love movies. That's why I love movies. That movie is why I love movies. You know, like, that's one of the reasons right there. It was a great film. And not much has ever made me, like, really, really hit me that hard like that, you know. Yep. Got that out the way. Ghostbusters Afterlife, 5 out of 5, thumbs up, man. I don't have 5 thumbs. Shut up. God, I move you a fucking smidge, and you're just like, bling, bling. But anyways, so yeah. That's kind of all I really had today. Yeah, it's the 21st of January already. Good God, man. 2022. And everything's going good. Everything's going good for me. Just working, living, loving, you know. The girls have kind of backed off now a little bit, and kind of feel back to normal a little bit, which is nice because, yeah, for a couple 3 weeks there, man, it was getting kind of fucking weird up in here. I still feel like something's coming though, not necessarily with me, but like with like the world in general. It's just like all sorts of bad shit out there, but like I just feel like like it's like a small thing that we're not even thinking about. You know, like there's all this stuff. Oh, blah blah blah. This, you know, the environment and the you know, the ice caps and fucking. I even saw an article about how they think that the Earth's core is cooling at a particularly high rate, and just like all this shit, dude. But I just feel like it's all just like it's all over here in like one big clump. But then there's just one little speck over here that like nobody's looking at. That's just gonna fucking blow up and like, whoa! Everybody's just gonna be like, holy shit, you know, for the good or the bad. I don't even know, dude. Like, I don't even know. Just feel something coming. And it's all weird, man, because like the coasts are sitting there saying, "Oh, we're getting over the Omicron hump, and things are gonna start going back to normal." And meanwhile, here it's like, dude, it's the fucking wild, wild west in the Midwest. It's pretty fucking nuts. And I also heard today that well, I've been reading some things about Jessica Alba, who is just my favorite, about how she's like, I don't know, the guy that she was in Dark Angel with way back in the fucking day, saying that she was a nightmare to work with and stuff. And my friend Kelsey sent me that, and she's like, "Sorry, bro. Looks like, you know." And it's like, dude, first of all, that's like 2004. Like, she was a child, man, and she was a hot commodity, and maybe she's been humbled a little bit. You know, people can change. That was a long fucking time ago. And he even goes on to say in the article, like, a couple of days later, my grandma passed away, and she like came up to me and like, you know, told me, you know, how sorry she was and everything, and just, you know, all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, it doesn't seem like it should even be fucking news. Jessica Alba, you're still just the second one for me, you know? Ugh. Back at it. Tony's brain is back at it, working overtime. Thanks for smoking with me. I'm always so happy when I know that people are smoking with me. So, yeah, thanks for that. I'm drinking some fucking cranberry juice. It's pretty fucking good. Oh, sorry, I was just throwing a little bit more in the pipe here. So yeah, if you're, you know, it's nice if you're just hanging out, you don't have anybody to smoke with me. It's amazing. It's amazing. I love it. So thanks for listening. If you like the artwork for Snerbidge the podcast, check out Sheldon Starr. He's the guy that designed the white logo that we use. I designed the other one that's kind of crude and stuff, but yeah, he designed the white logo and everything, and his information's down below, as is Young Stone, who does the music for the opening and closing podcast and everything. His information's down below. We are streaming on all sorts of streaming platforms for podcasts, and we're on YouTube, and check us out on Twitter at Snerbidge420, I think. Just type in at Snerbidge, you'll find me. But yeah, thanks for chilling. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for smoking. We're smoking Van Kushlen. If the place that I got this stuff would pay me, then I would, you know, I'd let you know where I got it. But they're not paying me nothing, so I don't need to say. But if you want me to smoke your weed from your company or dispensary or farm, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Like I said, this was Van Kushlen. Let's see. I have a list here. I want to fucking look. These are all the ones that we've had. Not in any particular order. I know that the first one was the Alba Snatch, and that was like super, super amazing. Don't think anything's beaten the Alba Snatch yet. That's kind of like the Great White Buffalo of marijuanas. LePew's Gooch, Lieutenant Dan's Legs, Herges Kirch Gosler 232, Jewish space lasers, Bram Smoker's Dankula. That was the Halloween episode. That was cool. Let's see. Hingle McCringleberry, Leroy Dankins, OG Winehouse, Bat Country, and the Jerkle Cirque. Oh yeah, and then the Confluence too. When I didn't have any weed, so I just put like all this different shit together that I had and smoked that and got all toasted out. You so charred toasted. But anyways, you guys have a good one. February's coming up. You know, be good to each other. Free Charles Erickson. If you want to know more about that, watch the Netflix documentary Dream Killer. It's a buddy of mine. Free Charles Erickson. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your January. Hopefully I talked to you guys before long. I was really fucking sick, so I didn't want to get on here and be sick. One more of the Van Kushlen. Oh yeah. Uh-oh. Snow's coming. I will check you guys later. Love you guys. Have a good time. Tony Tone, Snerbidge, the PoTcast, at Snerbidge420 on Twitter. Take it away, Young Stone.
Now I been smoking, you been smoking, we been smoking all day. I be smoking, you been smoking, we been smoking all day. You be smoking, she be smoking, he be smoking all day. Blowing kush, it ain't face from overseas to the USA. I got that blueberry, raspberry, and we keep that juicy fruit. If you want that 5-hour level.